Welcome to Bloomberg Quint. This is Market Wrap. I am Agam Bakil. The benchmark indices are flat at this point in time and they have closed flattish. As you can see, the Nifty closing exactly where it left yesterday, down by 6 points, not more than that, at 10,380. We have gains in Yes Bank advancing by 9%, followed by Hindalco and Axis Bank. BPCL, well, looking at a little bit of reversal after some volatile days of trade previously. And we have gains in UPL as well as Larsen & Toubro. Larsen & Toubro advances after strong earnings. On the losing end, we have HCL Technologies down 3.8%, followed by Tech Mahindra. Of course, profit-taking in Tech Mahindra. Do remember it was the top Nifty gainer yesterday. And we had Dr. Reddy's, Infosys and Cipla also bearing down on the indices. It was essentially a weakness in the IT space that has led to some amount of margin losses when it comes to the benchmark indices. But moving on to the broader markets, as you can see on the NSE 500, we have about, well, 2 gainers for 1 loser. And PC Jeweler stands right at the top, in fact, nearly at the mark of 70 rupees per share. Reliance Communication, allowing with Reliance Naval from the ADAG back, has advanced in today's day of trade. Kalpataru Power, Bombay Dyeing and Brigade Enterprises also advances. No, don't forget, Eros International catches up now, up as much as 8.4% at around 81. Some usual counters like 8K My Software locked in another lower circuit of 10%. Info Edge India, that takes a beating today, down 5.5%. Heritage India or Heritage Foods also takes a cut of around 5%. We have losses in mid-cap IT companies like Hexaware, Exide Industries, well, moving down as well. So on the whole, we have seen some amount of weakness seeping in when it comes to the broader markets. But let's bring in our markets editor, Neeraj Shah, to see how he's reading the markets. Neeraj, what's your perspective here?
Well, interesting day of trade today, I must say, because we were at not loggerheads really, but a stark contrast to what the rest of the Asian screen was doing. Or maybe the European markets doing what they are doing kind of led to a bit of a subdued day of trade. I was also surprised that the currency gained quite strongly, but no impact came in on the equity markets at all. Usually we've seen that if the currency worsens, then the Indian markets come off a bit. Today, there was a sharp intraday pullback. But no such moves. But of course, Bhaskar Panda, we spoke to, said that maybe it was a bit of a technical pullback. He doesn't expect it to continue fundamentally on the northward trajectory. So maybe the equity markets didn't pay too much of heed on that. But it was a strong move nevertheless. Well, let's wait and watch. October has been a terrible month in terms of flows, 27,000 crores or thereabout, the worst month in the calendar year thus far, and maybe dating back to a number of days. Can things change around in November? Can Diwali bring in good luck or no? Remains to be seen. I was just banking on one thing, Agam. I mean, something that we spoke about yesterday as well. The fact that NBFCs are able to raise some bit of money. I think KK Mistry was referring to something like that in the press conference today. PNB Housing Finance raised this yesterday. If you need that trouble, November 10th, I think is the date. If that kind of goes out smoothly and there are no defaults, then well, maybe the big fear around the markets and the liquidity goes out of the window. So maybe that's something to be monitored. And of course, November 5th, the Iran sanctions kick in. It'll be interesting to see what happens to crude prices then. So
yes, of course. Some
monitorables, 5th, 10th, and then the 19th when the RBI board meets. So a lot of things to watch out for.
Absolutely. Well, and through the weeks to come. Neeraj, thank you for bringing us that perspective. So that's as far as the markets are concerned. But let's shift focus to some stocks then. And well, perhaps we can talk about several factors. But I am going to talk about, well, Bajaj Electricals, because we have seen some earnings come through. And Bajaj Electricals has posted a good set of earnings coming in. On the whole, we have seen a considerable growth when it comes to top line of as much as 71%. Margins expanded to 5% as against 4.2%, and don't forget net profit has also risen by as much as 79%. Now a lot of the strength is coming on the back of the kind of up move that we've seen in the EPC business, because that is essentially what is driving the business right now. Now we did speak to the management, and the management did suggest that while you can expect the margins in the EPC business to remain the same, there is, however, a possibility of improvement in margins in the consumer products business because of the price hikes that they've taken in the October month, and that will show up, of course, in the third quarter earnings. So on the whole, a good set of earnings for Bajaj Electricals, and we've seen that rise. But there is another sector which will be in focus on the back of volumes, where we have started seeing volumes for the auto sector for the month gone by, and we have Yatin Mota joining us to give us an update of the same. Yatin, how was it?
Well, it seems to be a slow festive season for most of the auto players, and if you look at Ashok Leyland, clearly the numbers were slightly off the street expectations. Maruti also reported a flat kind of a growth on a year-on-year basis because of weakness in export markets as well as in the domestic markets versus the street expectations. If you look at Mahindra and Mahindra Limited, their utility vehicle sales also did not see a great growth. In fact, the total auto sales for Mahindra and Mahindra, that segment posted a total sales of nearly 58,400 units odd on a year-on-year basis. That is a good growth, of course, but in line with the street expectations. If you look at companies like Escorts, they posted a very strong 29% growth in tractor sales. So good numbers coming in for Escorts, and probably that explains why the stock was up 7-8% on an intraday basis. Tata Motors also, their total sales were up 18% to come in at 57,710 units. So, a strong growth coming in on the back of 22% growth in the commercial vehicle sales. PV sales grew 11% for Tata Motors, and TVS Motors also reporting a magical figure of nearly 4 lakh units when it comes to the October sales. So good numbers coming in for that two-wheeler play as well. Of course, Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Auto would be reporting their numbers tomorrow or post the market hours. So we'll watch out for that two-wheeler data points as well.
Okay, so those two important two-wheeler numbers to keep an eye on. Yatin, thank you for bringing us those details. Watch out for those. So, well, on the whole, it's been a rather range-bound moment for when it comes to the benchmark indices, but we'll keep tracking more developments here. But with that, it's a wrap on the markets. Lots more lined up. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Grid.